when we are playing or in playful states, it is neurophysiologically incompatible with threat states. So when we are in a threat state where we're reactive, right? We flipped our lids, we're dysregulated, we're angry, we're fearful, full of anxiety, panic. Those states, if you're in that state, you cannot play, and you cannot be playful. That's one thing we can kind of put a pin in and come back to, which is because sometimes as parents, we are feeling that way, and we can't get to playfulness in those moments. So we can talk about what we do and how we get there. Yeah, but what's important about this too is that everything that we're talking about here, our kids enjoy it. They're building tons of skills. It builds the relationships. But you know what else it's doing? It is creating some Teflon against threat states. It is a protective factor against threat states because play itself and playfulness are huge cues of safety. And so it's such a powerful way to help move a kid from a reactive state into a receptive, regulated, safe cues of safety state. But it's also a way to prevent that from happening. So especially if you have a kid who might be feeling nervous about something or anxious about something, that is really a key time to bring in some laughter and playfulness and silliness. Sometimes that means you playing the boob and tripping all over the shoes to get out the door. It might mean bringing some playfulness in terms of telling a story. So I use this a lot because I have parents that tell me this and I get this, like, I don't want to do an effing puppet show to get my kids to put their shoes on and get out the door. I'm so tired. I don't want to do it. But the amount of energy and time we put into the battle is actually far harder. Yeah. And the more we practice being playful, our brains are plastic too. It becomes more natural and automatic for us. But one of the best ways I ever got cooperation in the car, but also to get the kids to transition to something was, and I was so bad at it, but I would be like, okay, I haven't even told you guys the story. There were these 3 squirrels and they did something they were not supposed to do. And they got in so much trouble. You're not even going to believe it. Now, I don't even know what the heck's going to happen next. I don't know what the squirrels did. I don't know what that getting in trouble means. Maybe I'm not even going to be giving a good moral message. I don't know yet. But if I start that way and then I'm like, get your shoes on, grab your bag, and let's get in the car. And then I'm going to tell you what happened next. They can't wait to get into the car. Yeah, they can't wait to get into the car. And you're going to make it up. The story might suck. Who knows? And if they're like, Mom, this story is stupid, you're like, okay, well, what do you think should happen next? Right. So it can be clunky. And at night I would often make up stories and they'd be like, can you make the story more interesting? This is really boring. But I was like, well, I'm trying to help you go to sleep. So I'm trying to make it boring on purpose. The sea otters can only float for so long. You can only describe floating sea otters for so long before they're like, can you just get a little action going here? But so it's not just being in a playroom with a board game out. This is a way of being playful around eliciting cooperation. There's whimsy there. There's something unpredictable happening. We don't know, and what happens is it activates curiosity, which is a huge piece of play. And when kids are curious, that also is a protective state against reactivity and flipping their lids.